Wow. Holy. I can honestly say that this movie is probably one of my favorite movies of this year so far. It might even be my most favorite. And that's largely due to Florence Pugh's breathtaking performance, as well as this bizarre and twisted love story that ended in a way that I really did not expect at all. So Don't Worry Darling stars Florence Pugh and Harry Styles as Alice and Jack, and is set in the 1950s where they live in the idealized community of Victory, where the men work and the women cook and clean. You've got the almost picture-perfect living conditions and everybody's happy. Very similar or exactly like the American dream. Or so we thought. So a movie that was released in most countries around the world last week, I was just able to watch this week, which is actually 1 week before the official release date in my country. Does that make sense? Basically, we get this movie like 1 or 2 weeks later than everybody else, and so, because of that, I was able to accidentally take a gander on the rating some platforms gave it, which certainly wasn't very high. So I didn't have huge expectations, and I went in expecting it not to be so good, but it ended up blowing me away, and that's not because I came into it with low expectations at all. I genuinely feel like I was taken on a really powerful and emotional joyride where I felt uneasy almost the whole way through. This is exactly my type of movie, and that's probably why I enjoyed it so much. Sure, it has familiar themes that we have all seen before, right? I mean, while I was watching it, I was comparing it to WandaVision and Smile, for example. But if you've seen my reviews on both of them, you'll know that I loved a lot of elements from them. And that's kind of the reason I really wanted to watch this one as well. Like, after having watched the trailer, I was just expecting some sort of mystery, horror / thriller coming into it, and that's exactly what I got. They give us hints all throughout the movie that things are wrong and that things are not as it seems. There was a lot of tension, it was pretty suspenseful at times, and I didn't really know what it all meant until the true meaning of the movie finally revealed itself to us towards the end. I love mystery horrors to death. Being creeped out, by certain hints, but not generally knowing what they meant until the very end. Yeah, this movie was most certainly exactly that. And Florence Pugh was amazing, but I mean, she is in a lot of her work, like Midsummer, for example. So yeah, it's to be expected. And I generally never really point out an actor's performance unless they're really bad or really good, but her performance really stood out to me. As well as Harry Styles with his British accent, but mostly her, I'd say, since she's technically the main character, as we're mostly seeing the movie from her point of view. At first, you might think she's crazy, but over time you learn to sympathize with her and really want the best for her character. Now, this is a movie that starts off and continues really strongly for me. Obviously, like I said, since it's a mystery thriller, a lot of things didn't really make much sense initially, so I thought to myself, it all ultimately comes down to the conclusion that will make it or break it for me. At one point, I did think it lingered a bit too long, and I was like, okay, come on, get to it. But once it does, oh man. Even though it didn't go the way I thought it would go, I thought it would focus more on Jack's job and what he does, it went in a way I did not expect at all, but still thoroughly enjoyed. I did try to predict what this movie meant, with my knowledge of other shows and films, but I still couldn't. I was close though, but yeah, I feel like that's the major talking point in this movie, the final act where all hell broke loose. During the finale, I was tearing up a bit because I was holy shit, it was very surprising. It was also sudden and both powerful and emotional in a way as well. The realization of what this movie actually meant. It was a lot to take in though, I'll tell you that much. I even heard a lot of gasps and confused audience chatter in the theater that I was in, people going, holy, what the fuck, stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, I can see how the end sequence can feel a bit rushed and might even be a little bit hard to digest for some people. And I feel like this is a movie where, depending on like the ending and the way it goes, it can divide some people. But for me, I mean, I still enjoyed the way that it played out, and most things made sense to me. I was generally satisfied with the hectic conclusion. And I tried thinking back to a lot of weird things that happened throughout the movie and look at it from the perspective of already knowing what the movie's about. And most things made sense to me. Some things didn't really make too much sense though, and I honestly didn't even know why they added it. Like that part when they were making mad 18 plus love together on the dinner table. And also the part where she was like cleaning the glass or something and something happened, which really like, I still can't pinpoint why or how that happened. That's the vaguest way I can describe it without blatantly spoiling it, but I mean, even with some things not really making too much sense, the ending still answered the major question of what this movie is all about. You know, there were a few twists and turns, and the way it ended, just before the credits rolled in, was a nice touch to end on. Though I would be lying if I said I didn't feel the need to like want more, you know, like the movie was, it still felt kind of incomplete in a way, but it was satisfying enough that I didn't really worry about that too much. I was mainly still trying to figure everything out after the movie had ended and I had walked out of the cinemas like, what the fuck did I just watch? You know, what a surprise. What a turn of events that, wow, really unexpected, but really enjoyed at the same time. Ultimately, Don't Worry Darling is a twisted take on the perfect love story, all about living the perfect life in a fucked up way. And it might be my most favorite movie of the year. So when Jack was going to his job, he was actually, I'm going to give Don't Worry Darling an A. God, it was really hard to talk about this movie without spoiling it. Oh man, let me know if you guys want me to make a spoiler talk on this movie, but honestly, like, to be honest with you, like, I really want to, but I don't think, I just don't think I have the time to, because next week, man, I have a lot of videos planned since I'm like kind of refreshing or restarting this channel in a way, a soft restart, I guess, but I have the what do you call it, the what's his name? Jeffrey Dahmer Netflix series to review, which I've already stalled for a week. And then Amsterdam is coming out in less than a week. And I also have to work, unfortunately. So yeah, I just don't have the time to, I think. But I'm pretty sure I covered most things in this review in the vaguest way possible so that people who watch the film will know what I'm talking about or what I'm getting at, while people who haven't watched the film didn't get spoiled. And I mean, I don't know, like in the past where I've reviewed movies but didn't have time to make a second video on it, I talked spoilers but in the same video, but just after the official grade or my official rating of the movie, like towards the end of the video. I don't know if you guys want me to do that or not, because I feel like it would make sense, but I don't know if like some people, I might get that one person who just skips to the end and be like, wait, what the hell, you talk about spoilers, you didn't say this was a spoiler review. You know what I mean? So I don't know, I guess, but yeah, anyway, let me know what you guys want, let me know what you think, let me know down below, like and sub if you enjoyed, and as always, feel free to check out in my previous videos. Until next time.